Good morning from New York's Billionaires Row. I'm here at Central Park and it's the morning. I haven't had breakfast yet, but I'm gonna show you guys around today and show you a little bit the in and outs about Billionaires Row, tell you stuff that you didn't know about before, I guess. Just check out the crazy contrast here in this city. Back here behind me in Central Park, there's the homeless people living, and then here on Billionaires Row, in this very building up there, the most expensive apartment ever sold in the US for I think more than $230 million is located. It's just mind-boggling, isn't it? We're coming up on 5th Avenue here. First interesting fact here is that I'm standing here in front of the Apple store on 5th Avenue, and this is located inside or underneath this marvelous General Motors building from, I believe, the 60s. It's this like standard New York 60s, 70s and earlier architecture that everyone thinks about when people think about New York, I believe. And the crazy thing about this Apple store here is that it never closes. It is open 24/7, and over 900 employees work inside the store, and they speak over 36 languages. And yeah, they help people day in, day out, night and day with their purchase decisions. There's a bus coming, but these guys must be tourists since they're not crossing. And this is 432 Park, one of the most iconic buildings around here. I love the design. So this is 5th Avenue and this is 57th Street. And this here is considered, like I said earlier, this is considered Billionaires Row. And you can see why, I guess, because this is like one of the last streets. I think 58th or 59th is then the street that's next to Central Park, and this here is 57th Street. And you can see that all those high rises, they have like super tall residential towers here that are more than 300 meters tall, and they all overlook, of course, the whole city, but also Central Park, like in the first row, as if you had first row tickets to a concert, sort of. And this concert here is Central Park views, and the tickets are as expensive as you would expect. And I'm guessing here, for example, there's a free spot. Here there could be another high-rise coming up, I'm not too sure, but this looks like this place has been cleared for another high-rise to appear in the not too far future. My favorite building of the Billionaires Row's buildings is 432 Park Avenue, which is, as you can see, this tiny, or not so tiny, building. What a crazy skyscraper. It is 426 meters tall, and because it doesn't have a spire, the facade is also 426 meters high, which means that this building is not only the 4th tallest building in New York, but it is the tallest facade in the whole city. Well, look at that. It's just this boxy concrete design. I just love it. We're here in 52nd Street, and you can get a glimpse on the Chrysler building up there. And on here, you turn left and you see the Seagram Building. And I'm going to show you what I like about this building, what's so special about it. We are coming up here on the Seagram Building, and this is one of the most iconic buildings in New York because it became the blueprint for modern American architecture. It was built in 58, and it's like 150 something, 155 meters, I think, tall. And it was built by German star architect at the time, Mies van der Rohe. And what's so special about it? I mean, if you are familiar with like 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s architecture, I mean, you can also just have a look at here. but also from other cities like Chicago, for example. In the US, you will find this design pretty look pretty familiar. The whole property starts here, where I put my coffee. This is where the property starts. This is still public space, and this is where the property starts. And what they did is they started the building only over there, so they didn't even use all of their property that they bought. But what they did is they built higher, and that's what they could do. That was the law at the time. If you provide public space on your property, then you can build higher. And you can see around the Seagram building, there's a few other buildings that do this exact same thing. And here we are at the Rockefeller Center that you can see behind me. Very famous also. From my point of view, though, nothing too special. Also very famous, and one of my favorite views in the city is the view that you can now see behind me with the McGraw-Hill building here. These three buildings, they house some very important banks and whatnot and financial institutions. But just this street here on 49th Street, this avenue, I mean, 6th Avenue and 49th and 50th, between here, this is just an amazing view, and these are such iconic buildings. And here you can see the influence that the Seagram building had on them, because also here, and the property starts over there, and this is the public space still. And then they built some public seating areas. They built this body of water that's pretty beautiful, and also cooling down the city a bit. And yeah, this is what the Seagram building introduced, and this is just one development that embraced the idea, and I like that. They look so brutal, but still still beautiful, to me at least. Let me know in the comments what you think about them. Okay, so that concludes my little tour of Billionaires Row and its surroundings, and what I like about it and what I don't like. And you've heard it all. I'm now down in the financial district, somewhere in, what is the street called? The streets are not, I don't have numbers anymore here, so that confuses me at this point. So many condominiums, like luxury apartments, whatnot. This, I believe actually that this one, but you can't see the top, this one should be the famous Woolworth building. If it's not the Woolworth building, it looks very similar to the Woolworth building. Maybe I'll bring that in another video where I tour all skyscrapers of New York. I don't know if you would like to see that. Let me know down in the comments below. And I'll sign off from here, I guess. And I'll see you when I see you next time in New York.